Alright, guys, welcome back. Now, this chapter was kind of hurtful to say. It it gave us a little hope at the beginning and kind of made us reel back in disgust with what happened in that one. We're gonna do this breakdown a little differently. We're not gonna go chronologically according to what happened in the chapter. We're gonna go with how it affected each individual party. So, we started the chapter off with seeing the aftermath of Garp and Roger's fight. It seemed that Garp and Roger were able to subdue Xebec, but not kill him. But this is where our hope kind of ends, where the God Knights, the assholes as they are, come in and kill Xebec. And let's take a moment over here and understand how freaking disgusting these guys are. I mean, they probably have orders to kill all members of the Davy clan anyway, but the fact that they do it this way shows how kind of like roachy these guys are. Anyway, we kind of see that it takes everyone by storm basically. When Roger and Garb do get saved by the Roger pirates, we're gonna slightly deviate over here. There's a really fun interaction that is there with Garb, where he's like, "Why are you favoring me? I'm your enemy." And clearly, Roger pirates have a very interesting bond with Garb. They see him more of like a healthy adversary rather than an actual enemy. So yeah, they're obviously going to help Garp as well, as we see Squapper Galan and really move away from that. And the fact that Garp is sort of acknowledging this, but not as well, is really fun to see that there's a sense of camaraderie even amongst them. We then come to Roger asking the question that, hey, what happened to Xebec? And Rayleigh and Scobergan both basically, with this kind of like really disgruntled look, say that Xebec was killed. Now, they know that Roger or Garp would not kill Xebec like that. At least the way that Garling actually ended up killing Xebec, it was probably known by them that the God Knights came and killed Xebec. But there's like this dark horror around them when they say it, which I don't know if they saw it happen or something happened during that, because we really do a harsh cut into that. Okay, now we're going to talk about each individual section of this group. All right, let's start with the Roger Pirates. We kind of get to the Roger Pirates where they're moving out with the ships and everything. And we see Roger awake a few days later and find out that Shaki and Rayleigh is safe, which is a really cute. There's like this really cute picture of Shaki and Rayleigh together. That's pretty good. And the fact that the Roger Pirates have not really opened the loot yet, which is kind of concerning, given what they find inside the loot. So they basically walk up and try to open the loot, and out comes Shanks. So Shanks has been with the Roger Pirates for a while now. It seems like he was there with them since he was a baby, which is a very long time given how old Shanks was before Roger passed away. Roger would have been kind of like a dad to Shanks if it goes around this way. But that begs the question of how powerful Shamrock is, because Shanks, growing up with Roger is a really powerful guy, so he probably learned hockey and everything from Roger, but Shamrock is also part of the so I don't know where this is going on, because Shamrock could be really more powerful than Shanks, given that he's had that Celestial Dragon upbringing into the God Knights kind of thing. But given the Celestial Dragon's track records that I've seen so far, the God Knights track records that I've seen so far, they don't seem all that powerful. Honestly, all of them got beat by Xebec single-handedly. Like, I given that Garp and Rayleigh had to fight against a Domi Reversi Xebec and still was able to subdue them, like that is equivalent to Xebec beating up all the God Knights, all right? It just makes sense that the God Knights are not as powerful as we think it is, at least not in comparison to all the other powers that exist in the world. So I don't know anything about what's going on over there, but I'm interested in seeing Shamrock's role, especially now that we're in Elbaf and he's actually there, to see how powerful he is, because I think there's going to be a really interesting case for Shamrock here, whether he is powerful or not. Because even if you look at what's happening in Elbaf right now, Emo chose to control Gonko and not Shamrock. So it goes to show that there is something. It could be that Shamrock is not as powerful as we think he is, even if Shanks is his brother. Okay, so we're going to rewind back to what's happening in the flashback right now. We are going to shift our focus from Roger Pirates to the Marines. So in the Marines, we see that Garp is really mad with what went down and how it's being reported around the world. He's really mad at Morgans for reporting it, which kind of shows that Morgans is right now in control of the news and all, and he can be bribed. So some of my considerations regarding Morgans right now may not pan out in the future, because he seemed a little the way Morgan was presented, he seemed more like he was chasing the truth, but not willing to share it. That's basically it. I don't know what happened to his motivations, but right now he seems to more keen on sharing information outside of the Navy's perspective. So that's very different from his personality, what appears in this flashback. But I honestly don't know what Morgans is up to, especially now that Vivi's with him. It's very interesting. So we see that Garp is really mad at Morgans, and he's kind of mad at Sengoku as well for not doing anything for it. But we kind of know Sengoku's motivations. Sengoku is more on the lines of like he will comply to the point where he can get to power, and then he wants to make changes from the top down. Whether or not you like that ideal or that belief process, that's not up for debate here. That's just who Sengoku is. And you can see Garp is also very conflicted on liking Sengoku. However, he does say that he's not willing to leave the Marines because he understands that there's some semblance of order needs to be maintained when he says that the pit of hell still needs the guard up. It is very interesting to see Garp say that, because that's basically the basis of what I think Sword is made of. Basically, it's basically the primary principle guiding Sword at the moment. I think that Sword is basically just a anti-corruption faction that Garp has created in the Navy. Either way, that's Sword and Garp. We also do see that Garp actually goes to Dragon, and we see the origins of Dragon's position in this, in the fact that he states that he does not like the Navy and he's quitting, as well as he hates Garp. And as at this point, I think Dragon is justified in his beliefs. But this kind of led to confusion with Garp for me, where Garp is basically like, he forced Ace and Luffy and even Sabo to some extent to become Marines. But with Dragon, when he said this, he just literally gives him a key and walks away. Now, this could be because Dragon actually joined the Marines, and this situation was so horrifying that even Garp couldn't find a way to justify it, and he understood his son's stance on it. So he let him go. So it's yeah, I can see Garp letting him go, but it kind of hurts to see that like Garp forced on Sabo and Ace and Luffy what he let his son do otherwise. But I think at the point of Luffy and Ace, he was already thinking of farming sword. So sword would be something that Ace and Luffy would head instead of Kobe right now. So that could be another thing. Yeah. Okay. Now we're gonna jump away from the navies because that was interesting, but the most heartbreaking part of this was Harold. My God, this guy, dude. I honestly, at the beginning, when I saw Harold and Zebek's friendship or like whatever interactions, it always felt to me like Harold was kind of like reluctant. But in this chapter, we get to see how much he treasured his friendship with Harold. Harold literally says he is now done with the giants. He is basically done with the giants. Any giants causing trouble for humans, he is done with because it put him in a situation where he literally says it that I could, because of my position, I couldn't help my best friend. I had to turn away my best friend from protecting his family. And you can see the emotion in them. He does not care anymore. He is so tired of the giants causing problem and putting him in a position where he has to suck up to the government that he could not help his one true friend, that he could not help Xebec in his time of need. He is tired, so he just is tired of the giants causing trouble. And you see him take a huge weird stance against giants where he's like, hey, I'm if I see you causing trouble with anything, you are done. I am disowning you. I'm like destroying you. Like there's nothing you can say to like amend your mistake. And we say that he takes this a step further where he breaks his horns and he says that he's willing to even become a slave to atone for the sins of his kin, and so that like the world government is willing to accept him. And this is where I have a problem with Harold's stance. Now, I believe that when it comes to the world, everyone is greedy for some level of power. And true kindness is not knowing that you have power and not using it. It's knowing that you have power and choosing to opt for another route. It's more on the lines of like, instead of having power, so it's having power and not using it is good, right? But having power but being subservient just to remove the effect that you have power is not the right way, because there are always people willing to take advantage of that. And that is where I think Harold is making a big mistake, where he is choosing to be subservient even though he has power, just to negate the power that has been afforded to him. And that is a problem because Emu, all they care about is power. The Emu and Celestial Dragon, all they care about is power. And they are going to find a way to exploit you. And this is why I think this is what's going to lead the Giants to have a problem with Harold, because given the state of his mind right now and the way he's viewing the Giants, he's kind of antagonized the Giants for him. Like all the other Giants that are causing problems, that has probably antagonized them in his mind. And he might be willing to sell off a generation of giants just to preserve the next generation. Because we see Loki and Hyruddin, he's more or less friendly with. Like he cares about the next generation, but for the previous generation, he might be willing to sacrifice them to the Celestial Dragons so that the next generation can prosper. If he is doing that, I can see Loki killing him, because that is not the way to go. And I hope he is not doing this, because I know there's some reason Loki had to kill Harold, and this could be a very big part of it. I hope he doesn't go around this thing. I'm more than happy to be wrong about this. But basically, I really don't know what's going to happen. Coming to Loki. All right. We kind of see Loki's kind of heartbroken at the fact that Xebec is dead. And it's primarily because he kind of saw Xebec as less like Nika. He does say that he sees Xebec as Nika, but I think for Loki, Xebec was the one redemption at his reputation. Like, don't get me wrong, he has a wonderful family. Aside from his birth mother, his adoptive mother, his father, and his little brother, they're all, or is it his older brother? I'm not sure. I think it might be his older brother. I'm not. It might be an older brother. But anyway, aside from those three, everybody in the world kind of hates him, and Zebek was his only way to just get into the limelight. So it's more on the lines of he sees Zebek as a savior, and therefore I think he refers to him as Nika. But it we can see that it clearly breaks him. And again with Harold, I don't know, this ideology of like a liberator might be something that Loki is sticking to when he deals with Harold for whatever thing that Harold causes. This chapter is setting up a lot of things for the next one, and I'm kind of concerned where Harold is taking this blind blind this mindless devotion to. Um, it's a devotion to his what do you call it? To the betterment of his society, but it's getting so blind for him that he might be overlooking a lot of things, or he might not know a lot of things, which is sad to see because Zebek kind of knew it and was warning him for the longest time for this. And if he chose to, considering that he treats Zebek as one of his closest friends, it's crazy that he would actually fall for this. And it's basically kind of like just self sabotage at this point if he does go around this route. I haven't read the next chapter yet, 667, 1167 yet, but I hope we see something great happen in that, or something less damaging, because Zebek's death was pretty bad. And yeah, we're gonna have a video about Zebek out soon, so look forward to that. I hope you guys liked it. If you did, consider leaving a like down below and leave a comment down below, guys, because it's insane. I would love to see like what you guys think about my theory, as well as if you guys have any theories regarding Zebek in general. Sorry, not Zebek, Harold in general, regarding what path he's going down, because I'm having nothing but dreadful thoughts about the path he's going down of, especially given the fact that Loki killed him, and I don't think Loki's really a bad person. But yeah, that's about it. Consider subscribing if you want to. I've been Korgami, and I'll see you guys in the next one.